and we shall begin momentarily. So grab some popcorn, grab some snacks, drinks, whatever you desire, prefer. We'll get this show underway in about a few minutes or so. So yeah, stand by.
Stay close to the river and cry, and the river's gonna feel you're the god of rain. It's gonna worship you like God and Creator for ages. And all the fairies of the forest will come. They wanna show you to the dance of night. This is the age of Aquarius. The god of
Alright. Good now. I was lagging behind for some reason, a few seconds. Right. Lagging behind for some reason, a few seconds. Do a slight adjustment, stand by. Oh boy, oh boy. First time I'm doing like a screen share type of stream, per se. Getting all the shizen in order. That's all. Right. Overlapping.
Stay close to the river and cry, and the river's gonna feel you're the god of rain.
Yes. Professional quality.
And all the fairies of the forest will come.
Now, I think we are all good, fine, and dandy to go. So if I can just hear. So yeah, this is the prequel to the story I was reading just the other day, when a sudden destruction came into my life by none other than big, massive shout out. Hello, yes, ironic now, the little Nixie, little sister from the Philippines. So yes, you arrived just in time. Got all the technicalities. So, first and foremost, now the music is definitely not too loud. This second. So, yes, 2:37, you're down under. Perfect time to begin. So, summary, this is the backstory of the prince prior to becoming the god of destruction of the seventh universe. Oh yeah, shit ton. I'm French. This is the original plot story of when a certain destruction came into my life. Chapter 1, Vegeta, the Brown, Saiyan, Prince. Now, the first part of Vegeta's backstory. Of course. Love this story. The patience, the passion, time, the love and care. Science deserves to be shared everywhere. Alright, so I digress now. First part of Vegeta's backstory. This is how the previous god of destruction, Beerus, met the young mortal Saiyan prince. Vegeta Yonsei, also referred to as Vegeta the Fourth, right? How he manipulated the strings of fate that would change Vegeta's life forever. Long time ago, the guide angel, according to his lord from the godly temple, to the god of destruction, called Planet. He's indeed impressive for a child, born with a level of power that has greatly broken all records in the history of Saiyans. He had greatly surpassed the most elite warriors among his people at the mere age of 4. A perfect combination of raw power, innate fighting skills, and intelligence. Fights mercilessly and relentlessly, and has an indomitable determination to improve himself. While he has a high power level, and is wise, perceptive, and exceptionally talented, hailed as a born prodigy in battle and a super elite among slaves. Despite his young age, he knows he is still a child who lacks experience in battle. He looks beyond his current level and has a great resolve to improve and reach further heights. However, there is one thing that stands out most. and could be considered as his obvious flaw in fiction, and that is pride. Just in case, I'll lower the music a little bit lower. There we go. Now I have to really shout this. So I love it how you included the diagrams, the images, the pics of like certain text. Kind of makes it appear to be what they call it, a graphic novel of sorts. I think that's what it is, graphic novel. Yes. And that is his crime. By the latest DLC of Kakarot. Yes, I had a blast playing the Bardock story. Good, we've done more of the drinks. Oh well, it was what it was. Now, The Legend of the God of Destruction, Part 1. Vegeta, the proud Saiyan Prince. But that pride of his makes him cocky and arrogant, too overconfident in skills, and aggressive in battle. This causes him to overthink, and it puts a limit to his power and slows down his movement. Could be improved if he's trained properly, but then, considering his pride and the fact all of his current skills are all self-taught, the idea of being trained by someone might not interest him. Angel continued. What? There was an annoyed grunt that came from his lord. Like father, like son. Even though he had clearly inherited King the Third's prideful and arrogant nature, he sure knows when it is due. He knows when to show humility and proper respect if he believes in it. That's unlikely to say. The god of destruction named Beerus stared at the holographic image of a Saiyan child. The guide angel was showing him from his angelic scepter. The boy was a mere 4-year-old Saiyan royalty, but he was already taken down thousands of warriors older and bigger than him so easily. He watched as the boy almost effortlessly burned the entire planet down to the ground, reducing cities to useless rubble, transform into the bestial Ozaru, a gargantuan monstrous monkey, and roared his desire for bloodshed and destruction. The full moon changed. Unlike what others would expect from a rampaging monster, the boy turned beast was in total control of himself. Kiryu was quite impressed with the child's level of ability and innate fighting skills. For 200 million years since he took up the mantle of being the god of destruction of this universe, he had never seen any mortal as interesting as this young boy. Hard to believe that the child was the son of that stingy king who he wants to destroy so badly. Then, a week earlier, Beerus descended on planet Vegeta, a red planet located in the North Galaxy, with an intent to destroy the planet along with all that exists in it. The Saiyans were too nasty for his opinion, a bunch of arrogant troublemakers, acting so mighty towards other races. Their ruler, King Vegeta III, was the worst of the bunch. He built this kingdom upon countless deaths and destruction, stealing what he could get was his selfish ambition. An example of this is their takeover on planet Sifo, home to the hospital Toughness, who took the Saiyans after their original homeworld, planet Sadar, was destroyed by their conflict. King Vegeta led a rebellion against those who helped them, wiped out the entire Tuffle race, and took over the planet, naming it after himself. As the years passed by, King Vegeta led the deaths of many innocents and the destruction of many worlds. He was ruthless, and he would even kill his kind if they go against him. The God of creation heard the people's desperate cry and told Beerus to check out the Saiyans and destroy them if he finds it necessary. Pyrrhus decided to visit his king and test him. He believed himself to be a merciful god, so he gave second chances to people before deciding on whether to punish them or spare them from his divine wrath. If they pleased him with their resolve to change their wrong ways, or if they showed him any reason for him to give them mercy, he will leave them alone. But if they pissed him off even further, they will surely receive his divine punishment and feel his godly wrath. Bring me the best pillow in the universe, Pyrrhus instructed the king of the saints. Make sure to bring it to me when I return, or else I will destroy you and this entire planet. When Pyrrhus returned to planet Vegeta the following week, he was offered a pillow, but it was different from what he had expected. He didn't care about the feast the obnoxious and ambitious Saiyan king had especially prepared for him. Pyrrhus wanted the best pillow in the entire universe. The one they gave him wasn't the one he was looking for. You know what your mistake is, King. Your mistake that made me so angry right now, Pyrrhus. Left foot over the back of the king's head as King Vegeta knelt in front of the god, begging for his mercy. I failed to give you a proper welcome, King Vegeta responded, trying to feign ignorance and masking his fear of what's about to come. Wrong. Vegeta yelped and started to tremble under Pyrrhus' foot. It is your ignorance and lack of respect to me that's making me so angry. How dare you take the best pillow in the universe for yourself and give me, the god of destruction, the second best? Just who do you think you are trying to fool? You honestly think that I will not notice that? Pyrrhus suddenly slammed the Saiyan King to the floor with his foot, causing the terrified King Vegeta to fall face first against the tiles of his pristine-looking diamond. Pyrrhus then grabbed a fistful of the king's dark, flame-shaped hair and raised his head forcefully so the king could look eye to eye. I couldn't care less about how many people you've killed in your lifetime just to get whatever you want. It means nothing to me, being the deity responsible for death and destruction. Pyrrhus' voice was terrified, cold, and speaking with the wrath of the destroyer deity. But the thing I could never tolerate the most are people like you. Don't know when not to step in someone else's territory. Just who do you think you are? Did you honestly think you and your people are greater than the gods? Foolish Saiyan, I think you do not believe that I could destroy you and your entire race from existence. Do you? Fine, I will show you. Pyrrhus raised his free hand to charge up his god with destructive ki. Suddenly, I will not allow you to do this any further! An unexpected scream from behind him stopped Pyrrhus from his plan when he turned his head over his left shoulder to see a Saiyan child, so small and so young, furiously charging right towards him, based on his appearance and the red cape pinned on his white and gold armored shoulder pads. The child could be King Vegeta's firstborn son. Gon, don't come! King Vegeta shouted at his young boy. Pyrrhus glared at the child using telekinesis to trip him off his footsteps, and the boy fell face first on the ground. Yon! Vegeta cried out. The child he was calling Yon, who Pyrrhus already suspected to be the crown prince, Vegeta IV, basing on the nickname the king was addressing him, which means the number 4, tried to pick himself up. Whenever he tried, he would simply fall back face first on the floor. The force of Pyrrhus' paralyzing gaze ability was too much for him to resist. Papa! The child groaned, his adorable face twisted. Yon! The king shouted. Pyrrhus felt the king trying to resist the god's hold on him as well. But it was futile. Please, Please, Beerus-sama, I beg of you, do anything you want. Wish to kill me for my insolence, then do it. Please, please leave my boy out of this. Beerus snorted, took a threat to his son's life to humble this foolish king. And he thought that Saiyans were so heartless they don't care about anyone, even their own families. Then, the boy shows adoration to you just as any child would to his parent. But I could tell that you do not care for the boy because he is your son. You care for the boy because you know that if he dies here, then there will be no hope for you. You see him as a tool of destruction to use to your whims, for you to overthrow Frieza and rule the universe. You see the boy as something to use and not as your beloved son. That's very stingy of you, King Vegeta III. King Vegeta yelled, as he was well aware those words were actually true, but never wanted for his son to know about it. Beerus turned to the boy on the floor. His bloodshot eyes glared at him with burning fury. And you know of this, Beerus told the young prince. Not misunderstand me, Prince Vegeta spat quickly. I certainly do not allow anyone, not even my own father, to use me in any way. I'm only doing my duty to him and my people. A duty to save and protect your people from destruction, huh? The only hope of a hopeless bunch of fools. Beerus smiled cruelly. Let's see how a mere child like you save your father from my wrath. King Vegeta let out a blood-curdling scream of agony that echoed through the halls of his royal palace when Beerus effortlessly broke his left arm. Do you honestly think you are some savior meant to protect your people? That's too self-centered of you, brat. I will make sure that you will never become one. Vegeta howled in pain once more, and the young prince watched in horror as Beerus brutally broke another one of his father's arms. Tried resisting against the powerful invisible force constraining him on the floor, calling out his key and powering up, but still he was unable to free himself from such a hold. Beerus could sense that something was sleeping in the boy, a beast with unsatiable bloodlust and destructive potential. Could sense that the prince's powers had fully awakened. He piqued his interest. He became curious to see whatever the key holds within him. Decided to provoke the child into unlocking that latent power. Beerus knew that the boy gets angry enough would allow him to unleash that power. King Vegeta screamed again. Beerus just ripped the arm he broke just off, now off the king's body. Saiyan blood sprayed into the once pristine tiled floor of a crimson color. Beerus rolled his tongue across his lips before he held the torn arm right in front of the young prince, who stared at the grotesque torn limb in pure terror. Stop it! The boy uttered in horror while he watched his father scream in heart-wrenching agony as the ruthless god of destruction continued to torture him. He could feel something within him starting to stir at the sight and smell of flesh, fresh blood, gore, and the sound of painful howls and cries. His heart began to pound, both in anger and the primitive desire for bloodshed. He wanted to kill that damn cat, destroy him, rip him from limb to limb, and spill his blood. Child's bloodlust is spiraling out of control, and his teeth begins to leak out of him in the form of purple smoke. The child was shaking as he struggled to control himself and his thoughts. All he could see was crimson, the color of blood he wanted to spill so badly right now. Beerus let out a cruel smirk. He could feel a connection with the boy. He could tell that the young Saiyan prince wanted to kill and destroy. To kill and destroy him oh so badly. Just as he predicted. God was no savior and protector at all. He was a cold-blooded killer, an uncontrollable monster and a merciless destroyer, even worse than what his father and his people defied. I am going to kill you, the Saiyan Prince snarled in pure rage before he let out a furious, beastly roar as his latent powers finally burst out of him, waking up from the depths of his being. At that explosion of power, Vegeta the Fourth, the crown prince of all Saiyans, broke free from Beerus's invisible force. Beerus was initially surprised by this. He knew he awakened a monster speaking within the boy, but he didn't expect him to be this wild and powerful. For some reason, Beerus could see and feel the presence of the Saiyan's true nature. The great ink Ozaru looming just right above the rage-filled child. The planet began to tremble with great intensity. And outside the royal palace, black thunder clouds rolled across the reddish sky, covering the planet in total darkness and sending violent flashes of destructive lightning across the world. Saiyans were alarmed by the power level their scouters and scout scopes were picking up in the direction of the palace, when they heard a blood-curdling roar. The prince roared his fury. Devastating shockwaves in the form of a powerful and violent gale began to blow around Beerus. It effectively destroyed the palace. Even so, the god of destruction was unfazed by it. Vegeta gave Beerus a murderous bloodshot glare. He was engulfed by a dense purple aura, something quite similar in nature to the power of destruction. Energy he radiated gave off a spine-chilling sound. One could mistake it as the roar of the Ozaru within the Saiyan Prince. Irises blazed bright crimson before vanishing from where he stood. Beerus effortlessly followed his movement, even though the boy moved in hypersonic speed that not even defined sleep. Beerus lifted a finger to block Vegeta's incoming punch, and he continued to block every punch the boy wildly unleashed with that same finger. You do have potential, but you are inexperienced with using your power to its fullest. You surely do not know how to manage your feelings. That's why you are quickly blinded by your rage, allowing you to become this uncontrollable and open. Beerus commented as he continued to block the ballistic child's wild and aggressive blows. Prince Vegeta doesn't seem to care whether his attacks were working or not. He was so blinded by his rage to do so. He just wanted to kill, destroy this stupid freaking purple cat and drink his blood. Beerus had seen enough of the Saiyan princes and decided he's done with it. He disappeared in front of Vegeta and moved swiftly behind the suddenly confused child. He raised his right hand across him and lightly used it to chop behind the boy's neck. Prince Vegeta let out a short grunt before the power he just unleashed popped out like a balloon, effectively extinguishing his aura and the wind he was causing. The unconscious body fell to the floor, completely blacked out. Vegeta stared at his fallen son. He cannot believe just how easily Beerus defeated his son while in his berserk rampage. Beerus was whistling a tune that would normally mean destruction was about to come to the world, as he walked in front of King Vegeta and squatted down, gazing at the king like a child planning to squash an ant with his teeth. "Hey," Beerus said. "Yes, Beerus-sama," Vegeta tried to say. "I'm a merciful god. I would have destroyed you all here and now, but your boy caught my interest. I will show you mercy just this once for his sake, but do not think that this is over and that you have escaped your divine punishment. There will be a time when you will get what you so much deserve while you enjoy your remaining time. Raise the boy well for me. There will be a time when he will call out to my name, and I will come for him." are you going to take it away from me? It is only proper that after I spare the father and his people, the son and the crown prince must repay that debt. Saiyans are a hopeless bunch to me. Your son is different. Yes, he's different from the rest of his worthless people. The perfect tool for destruction. Anyways, you should be thankful to him that you got spared from your divine punishment today, King. Until then, goodbye. Beerus left planet Vegeta in along with his guide angel, whose name was Whis, looking forward to meeting the Saiyan Prince again one day. When they returned to the planet of darkness where the god of destruction resides, Beerus told Whis to give him details about Vegeta the Fourth's fighting and destructive ability. Here they are now. Between him and the Galactic Emperor Frieza, Frieza is more ruthless and more powerful than he. Plus, Vegeta's destructive ability is far greater than his. However, seeing as Prince Vegeta is still a child, it would be easier to mold him to shape than the other. Prince Vegeta had been working for the Frieza Force for almost a year now. He is currently the youngest member of the Force, lacking experience, but he has great potential. If he is to survive, there is going to be great chance that he will be raised among the ranks of the people. Considering Vegeta's same ability to grow stronger whenever he fights and survive a few battles, Beerus grunted, rolling his eyes. Nah, he won't survive for long. If he doesn't keep up, he will die within a year or two. No matter his ability, there is no place for weaklings in the Frieza Force. There is no way for him to surpass Frieza ever. Beerus said. But I like the kid better. I think he is more suited to take my mantle, but I doubt he would ever hold a candle against Frieza. Perhaps if he could be trained properly while making use of the same ability, then there would be a great chance that Prince Vegeta will one day be strong enough to destroy Frieza. That is, if you have a good reason to do so. A good reason to do so, huh? That's when Beerus got the idea. If he played his cards right, then there will be an interesting show to entertain him and fend off his boredom. Beerus decided to forget about his plan of taking his 39-year nap while waiting for the one Yogengo had predicted, the destined one whose strength shall arise above that of the gods and shall bring the greatest change in the mantle of becoming a god of destruction. He already suspected that the one in the Oracle Fish's prophecy was Vegeta the Fourth himself, and he cannot wait for 39 years just to see him grow up out of nowhere. So he decided to manipulate the strings of fate a little and set motions into play. He will give both Vegeta and Frieza a reason to destroy each other, a test pitting them against one another for him to see who among them deserves to take on his mantle, become the next god of destruction. Beerus sent visions and nightmares about Frieza's demise that kept the Emperor of the Universe awake for 7 nights. In Frieza's vision, he saw a Saiyan rise to a level of power not seen for thousands of years to destroy him, feeling threatened and that a lowly monkey might end up killing him and overthrowing him as the great Emperor of the Universe. Frieza sent one of his soldiers to planet Vegeta to find out about the legend of the Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan God, but they only turned out to be myths. Even so, Frieza couldn't help but think that there is some truth to the myths, considering that according to the soldier he sent, the Saiyans believe that the prophesied one to fulfill these legends is their crown prince. The boy is nothing but a mere child. Frieza recognized his prodigious talents as a warrior, which he knew he could make use of as his tool for destruction. But then, after hearing that these monkeys were planning to use the boy against him, considering him as their last hope and salvation from his reign of terror, Frieza thought that these Saiyans were a bunch of traitors. One day, a group of low-level Saiyan warriors unexpectedly conquered a planet. Even his high-level soldiers were having a hard time finishing. His right-hand men, Zarbon and Dodoria, concluded that the Saiyans were becoming their strongest group of warriors. They continuously rise and grow stronger every time they are sent to the front lines. Plus, the birth of Prince Vegeta, more and more Saiyan babies were being born with noteworthy power levels. Though they still pale in comparison to the Prince, considering all these factors and the way Frieza was traumatized by his nightmares that these Saiyans will one day rise against him, decided to destroy them all along their home planet. He would nip the bud while he still could. He must destroy them all before they become too much trouble in the war. Beerus appeared before Frieza as soon as he heard Frieza's desire to destroy the Saiyans. Who are you? Frieza demanded please. I am Beerus, he introduced himself. You called for me. Beerus? That name rang a bell to him, and when he realized, he immediately corrected himself. Beerus-sama, the god of destruction. Frieza asked breathlessly, suddenly feeling terror when he heard the name. That is correct, Beerus confirmed. Frieza gasped in terror, unable to believe that he was seeing an actual deity right before his eyes. He heard some terrifying things about Beerus from his father, the great King Cole, and was told to never go against him no matter what. Frieza knelt before the god and asked him in a humble tone, "What can I do for you, my lord?" Beerus stared down at the humble emperor below him with a boring look. I heard of your thoughts. You want to destroy planet Vegeta along with all the Saiyans in it, don't you? Yes, because I think they're growing to become such pests in my forces. Beerus stopped. I know that is not your reason, Frieza. Frieza raised his head to look up and gasped. You are afraid of them. You are afraid that they would go against you, and that one of them will rise and destroy you, Beerus said. Frieza looked down with a look of guilt, not wanting to look into Beerus' intimidating eyes. Fine, Beerus suddenly. Frieza shot head up to stare at Beerus in I will give you the permission to do as you wish, but in one condition, Beerus continued. What is it, Frieza? Spare Prince Vegeta for me. Take him in your forces and make him as cold and ruthless as you could become. I would appreciate him if he becomes the same as you. Tell him that a meteor destroyed his kingdom, else he would hate you even if you did it. You have to prevent those nightmares from being fulfilled, correct? But why do you wish for me to spare the boy? Is a question. I know you have seen his potential will be useful to you. Frieza couldn't help but feel something suspicious about how the way Beerus wishes to spare that monkey prince, despite knowing that the figure in his nightmares was different. He didn't wish to do this, but Frieza knew better than to go against the god of destruction. I understand, my lord. I will do as you wish. Next chapter. After planet Vegeta was destroyed by Frieza, Beerus ordered Vegeta about to seek revenge against the Galactic Emperor. Wanting to destroy Frieza, Vegeta accidentally summoned the god of destruction and made a contract which would change his life forever. Second part to Vegeta's backstory. King of God. Vegeta's deal with the devil. There's something suspicious about that order. Something suspicious about that order, he thought to himself, frowning down at the purple-colored fruit he was chopping down. Aren't we going home? Long-haired boy standing beside him asked. Don't you need to go back? You're the prince, after all. Forget it, Vegeta responded to him coldly. Let's just pretend that we didn't hear it. They were in the middle of a purging mission. The Frieza force assigned to them when Vegeta and his four comrades, Raditz, all the boys standing next to him, his royal attendant Nappa, and two other adult Saiyan soldiers whose name he couldn't care less about, he transmission to their scouters from the Frieza Force HQ for all Saiyans to retreat and return to planet Vegeta immediately. When one of the adults asked Nappa about the oddity of the order, that's when Vegeta begins to suspect something. His suspicions became even greater when he received another transmission. Now, for him, and him alone, it was from that guy named Zarbon, to whom he was under suspicion. Prince Vegeta, you and your team are ordered to ignore that transmission. You may continue to purge that planet. Vegeta kept his mouth shut about his thoughts and tried to show a not caring expression as he continued. He had a foreboding feeling that Frieza was planning something, yet he decided to let it be. That way, Father will realize that he was correct about Frieza. Less than a month ago, Vegeta had an argument with the king about Frieza. After what he had seen from how submissive and terrified his father acted around Beerus and Frieza, Vegeta's earlier adoration and idolatry of him shattered to pieces. He began to view his father as a weakling, especially now that he knew that his awakened powers greatly surpassed that of his father. From that moment onwards, Vegeta became rebellious towards his father and goes against whatever he wanted him to do. The argument began when King Vegeta agreed for Frieza to take the young prince away to his custody. He overheard his father speaking to Frieza in the throne room about this. Father just gave him to Frieza like he was a thing, not his son. Then Vegeta suddenly recalled Beerus' words to him over a year ago about his father only sees him as a tool of destruction. Perhaps Frieza saw him the same way, and it's making him feel angry. Once Frieza had left, Vegeta confronted his father about this. King told him, "Listen, Yon, I have no other choice. If I do not give you to Frieza, all of us are going to die." Father could not even look at him at that moment, but shameful silently. "But I am a crown prince, Papa. If I come to him, I will become his slave. I do not want that." Saiyans weren't Frieza's slaves in the first place. A future king must learn to sacrifice himself for the sake of his people and decide for the betterment of his kingdom. I do not want to give you to him either, but I have no other choice. He will kill you. He will kill us all if I don't do it. God, no matter what happens, don't ever forget who and what you are. Never forget that you are the crown prince of the Saiyans. You have to survive and grow stronger. Once you are in his custody, you are to use that opportunity to grow stronger. Use every ounce of opportunity you have while obediently obeying his orders, busting through. Follow your pride while waiting for the right time. That part Vegeta could agree, but the words that followed next was that what made him go ballistic. And once you are strong enough to become a Super Saiyan, then go ahead and destroy him for us. For us. He will be offered as a sacrifice to suffer the cruelty of Frieza and his forces at the young age of 5, confirming that Beerus' words were correct. Vegeta couldn't help but feel unfair. He was too young to be dealing with all of these problems his father caused them all. Yes, he was well aware that he was being raised to one day be his hope of salvation from him. But all of these problems were the king's fault for joining the Cold Force many years ago. Vegeta knew that the reason why the king entered into the pact with the Galactic Empire wasn't because the king was forced. It was due to his own accord, because he was an ambitious fool. King Vegeta wanted to overthrow the Galactic Empire one day so he could rule the entire universe. He was using his opportunity to do that. But that that power level and that kind of prophetic fighting spirit whenever he was at the mercy of either Frieza or Beerus, knowing that no matter what he did, he will never be capable to go against the Galactic Emperor, Vegeta doubted that his father would one day grow strong enough to do just that. That is why when Prince Vegeta was born, the king raised him to do the things he couldn't do on his own. He was using his son so he could fulfill all of those ambitions, and Vegeta was getting fed up with how his father thought would simply lose his way. His father didn't even dare to stand up to protect him at all. Vegeta hated his father's cowardice, how pathetic he actually was. Angry, bitter, and emotionally hurt by his father's words, Vegeta went crazy, yelled, cried, and ranted about how selfish, shameful, and cowardly his father was. Rage and tears he was holding back since he heard the king's conversation with Frieza in the throne room all burst out of him. How dare this pathetic fool call himself the king of a warrior race when he had no honor, nor the courage to protect his only rightful heir? Where was the Saiyan pride he was trying to teach him? Vegeta's rampage only stopped when the king slapped him hard across his face, causing the defenseless boy to fly sideways across the room. Feeling even more angrier at his father's audacity, Vegeta cursed at his father, telling him that one day this foolishness he did shall bring the Saiyans' own destruction. They will all be destroyed, and Vegeta won't bother himself to care about it, shocked by his son's hateful words. Vegeta watched helpless as the young prince walked out of his father's chambers. Despite this, Vegeta relented the following day and still allowed his father to give him Frieza. But hateful heart he swore that he will never forgive his father for this. He came face to face with Frieza. Vegeta couldn't help but feel animosity towards the lizard-like demon. He would undoubtedly take him away from his spoiled princely life. When he saw his father kneel and bow down to this truth, Vegeta couldn't help but feel pity for him, despite his disgust and fury towards how his father treated him. He knew that deep in his heart he still cared, and that he still wanted to forgive him, understand his reasons. Maybe not today, perhaps in the future. This, Vegeta cursed the tyrant to this pit of hell, and made a promise to himself that he would destroy that monster one day, though he still stubbornly and proudly made himself believe that he would do it, not because his father wanted it, or for the sake of saving his people, but to liberate and avenge only himself, just for himself. Vegeta looked down at the lifeless bodies of the aliens his team just mercilessly slaughtered during this purging mission. It wouldn't matter if these people were the enemy of the Saiyan race. Vegeta will gladly kill anyone who would threaten his people. However, these fallen bodies were all innocent. They were not their enemies at all. In fact, the Saiyans were a threat to them. These people only defended their planet from their villainous conquerors. In someone else's story, the Saiyan warrior race is always proud to work hard was seen as evil villains. My father built the same kingdom atop countless innocent depths like theirs, even way before the Saiyans were under the cold and Frieza forces. I know that this isn't right. Saiyans were always meant to fight and evolve. There's no need for us to do this to innocence, because all we needed to care about is our strength and how we must keep on growing. My father used that and the deal with the Galactic Empire for his ambitions, while Cole and Frieza thus to wreak havoc in their names. They changed us into ruthless conquerors instead of being the proud and honorable warriors we must become. It isn't about Cole or Frieza's influence. It is a path that the king and his people have chosen. I believe that what my father had set up with Frieza, his plan will eventually come back to him. Sooner or later, Frieza will destroy Saiyans. Gonna chomp down on Frieza and perhaps this time I was thinking about. Vegeta wanted to return to planet Vegeta to defend his kingdom. He was their crown prince and the most powerful among them all. After all, it was his duty to fight and protect his people from anyone who threatens to harm them. Yet, he also believed that every single one of his people deserved what's about to come to them. And so, he pushed all those thoughts. Let him deal with his problems. I will not allow him to use me that way any longer. But, considering how pathetic my father is, Frieza will surely destroy him first. Frieza must be suspecting that my father was raising me to become a Super Saiyan. That is why he wanted to take me into his custody, for him to prevent me that from happening. I know that in my current level, I am still not strong enough to match him, so I won't risk trying to challenge Frieza. The only regret that Vegeta will ever have is that he was not able to become the king who would return the glory of the once proud and mighty race of warriors. Soon enough, one of the adults, Saiyan, screamed at his scalp. What did you say? What is it? Nappa asked him concerned. It's a message from the Frieza Force. A meteor crashed on planet Vegeta and completely obliterated it. Adults, including Raditz, gasped. Oh, what? The other adults say and said breathlessly in a broken tone caused by a shot in the wind. That means everyone is dead. They all turned to the prince's direction, perhaps to see his reaction to the unexpected sad news. But Vegeta-san, are you listening? Nappa asked him as he walked up to the boy in that purple-colored suit, as if he didn't hear anything. Vegeta looked up to him with his usual hard expression. Yeah. On his side, Raditz said, I guess we're lucky that you chose to ignore that order. Vegeta turned his eyes away and made an annoyed sound. I never get to become the king. Damn it. Raditz stepped back in surprise at his reaction. Huh? Not that I care about what happened to those people. They all deserved it. Everybody stared down at him with their jaws dropped. They all know that Prince Vegeta was always cold and hard-hearted, but at this level, unbelievable. You have a younger brother, right? Papa asked him. I have no idea where Papa sent him or whatever happened to him. I'm not interested in wasting my time looking for his dead body. Vegeta tried to make it sound like his brother was dead. He was giving Nappa a warning glare for asking such a question, causing the brawny man to swallow. How about yours, Raditz? Still in the nursing pod back home, so he's probably among those who died of the planet, Raditz replied. So, does that mean the 5 of us are the only survivors left? Said one of the other adults. Might be a few others who are on the way back who are still in their mission. That's just me assuming, Nappa replied. Then there was silence among them. The only sound was the chilling wind blowing around them. The crunch coming from the Vegeta was busy fighting enthusiastically, and Vegeta raised his eyes to see his comrade's sorrowful looks. He observed each one of their grief and his scowl. He swallowed the food he had in his mouth and raised his voice. What's with those faces? You're alive, aren't you? That's the important thing, Vegeta told them. Comrades turned to them. In this world, only the strong and mighty survives, while the weaklings perish. If you survived, it only means that you still deserve to exist in this world for a reason. What's done is done. There's no point in dwelling about it or grieving about those who have fallen. It is their fate to be destroyed today. Perhaps this is the price they have paid for their weakness and their foolishness. Yes, that's right. They've paid the price for what they did with their own lives. Most especially foolish and ambitious father. But one of the adults opened his mouth and Vegeta threw the remains of his food into that Saiyan's head, causing the adult to flinch at the pain, feeling like Vegeta just bit a rock instead of food. Vegeta snarled venomously. Get over it, fool. If you don't, then I will make you join them in hell. Where are they now? Yes, Your Highness. Your Highness, Your Royal Highness. Didn't I tell you to stop addressing me like that? Vegeta shouted back. The adult squeaked in fear. I'm sorry, Vegeta-sama. How pathetic. Vegeta scoffed before he rose from being seated on a rock and walked away from his remaining comrades. They watched as he stood a few feet away from them, looking up at the skies. I will never be like my wicked father. I am different from him. I will never allow myself to be used and disposed of just like that. I swear I will destroy Frieza no matter what it takes, not because of what happened here, but because it is my duty as Crown Prince to uphold the name of the Saiyan race. Frieza is our enemy. That's why I will destroy him with my own hands. Once I'm done with him, the universe will be mine to rule. Everybody will recognize the Saiyans I deem the most powerful race of warriors in the cosmos. Vegeta let out a cocky spurt, feeling his fighting spirit burn at the prospect of upcoming. The Legend of Dark Destruction. Vegeta and his remaining comrades returned to the Force Field. They were given a place to stay on planet Frieza 79. Frieza offered his condolences to them, but Vegeta didn't accept it, saying that he had no time to waste grieving about a lost kingdom and his pathetic people. The 4 other Saiyans accepted him. They noticed that Vegeta had changed after that incident. He realized that his father was correct about using whatever opportunity to make himself stronger. And so Vegeta just did just that. However, since Frieza knew about the unique Saiyan ability that allows them to grow stronger every time they fight opponents stronger than themselves, survive a deadly battle with near-death experiences, he would always send Vegeta to missions that were too accomplished, thus preventing him from growing any stronger than this. Eventually, Vegeta became bored and simply let his comrades do the dirty job, while he simply watched him boredom on the sidelines. While watching how his comrades do their work, Vegeta suddenly had an idea in his mind. Perhaps if he pissed Frieza off, he would beat him up. That would allow him to grow stronger. So he tried to get every opportunity to trigger Frieza's anger. He would declare his plan to overthrow the Emperor openly with soldiers, cause trouble, go against his orders, and even try to openly attack and assassinate Frieza several times. People thought he was being reckless, or that he had probably lost his mind and trying to stir up the fear Emperor's rage. Perhaps he's suicidal and wants to join his people. Possibly, Frieza doesn't seem to care about it. Instead, Frieza used the same card against him, fueling Vegeta's growing hatred for him, become as ruthless and cold-hearted as he. Frieza knew that what he was doing to Vegeta would eventually make him go insane. One day just snap and murder everyone around him like a killing machine. This happened once his comrades were sent on a mission to planet Osabi. 3 years after planet Vegeta met its unfortunate end, Frieza sent those 4 Saiyans to a planet inhabited by warriors whose level of power was too much for them to handle. Vegeta was sent on a different, much easier mission next. All alone. At first, Vegeta felt unfair that his comrades were being sent to a more exciting mission than his own, but immediately suspected something odd. Once Vegeta arrived on planet Muraha, quickly destroyed the entire planet against his orders to simply purge it of its inhabitants. Then he proceeded to chase after his comrades to planet Osabi. Vegeta-sama, Just what do you think you're doing? Did you just destroy planet Muraha? We cannot detect the planet on our radar over here at HQ. Wait, where are you going? Don't tell me you are going to Asabi to follow your fellow Saiyans. Stop it this instant, Vegeta-sama. Please return to HQ at once. I repeat, return to HQ at once. An officer from the Frieza Force headquarters was immediately sending in transmissions to his scouter as soon as Vegeta took off at his space pod's full speed. Vegeta removed the scouter off his ear and threw it on his feet. Ignoring the annoying cold, he was hoping to land to planet Osamu at the same time, or earlier as his comrades. Just as Nappa was about to leave the two Saiyans to start the purge, Vegeta quickly stopped them. They weren't that surprised to see him. The HQ already gave them a heads up that Vegeta was probably on his way to them. What are you doing here, Vegeta-sama? Aren't you supposed to be on planet Muraha? Nappa asked. I know, Vegeta responded. Received transmission from HQ. You defied your orders again. They were suspecting that you might come here and told us to tell you to return to HQ. Seriously, if you keep on defying Frieza-sama, then there will be hell for you to pay. Vegeta ignored Nappa's scolding as he ordered them. Forget about that. I'm here to lead this purge. Status report. Nappa let out an exasperated sigh and rolled his eyes. He reported to Vegeta the status of the inhabitants of the planet, their level of combat ability, their average power level. Vegeta frowned and checked on his scouter to double check about the power levels Nappa was talking. He knew this level was too much for even these four weaklings to find him. And his suspicions of Frieza's plan to kill them here was confirmed. Now he knows what HQ purposely sent him on a different mission to distract him. But he defied his orders, and now that he is here with them, there's a chance for his Saiyan comrades to survive together. After all, Vegeta's level of power is far greater than anyone on this planet. He knew he could take care of the problem quickly, but he wanted to test how much he could anger Frieza with more. So he ordered his comrades to stand down, hide, and observe for a moment. But those two adult Saiyan comrades, those whose names Vegeta still didn't care to remember, went against his direct order. Of course, those fools were already itching for a fight as soon as they landed. They were violent, aggressive idiots who couldn't control their lust for battle. Defying the direct order from their prince, the two Saiyans rushed into the battle. Nappa and Raditz wanted to join them as well, but they feared the consequences of defying Vegeta, so they decided to obey him, though reluctantly. Vegeta told Nappa and Raditz to follow those two Saiyans and watch what happens to those who do not think and control their battle-hungry nature. He specifically told them to never come to their aid, no matter what happened, and threatened to kill them too. And he did. But they're going to die, and they deserve it if they die there. They're both aggressive fools who rush into the battle without proper strategy. I could have destroyed them there, here, for defying me and for fearing Frieza more than their prince. But I wanted them to realize the consequences of their action. Go and see for yourselves what happens to those who do not listen to me. Vegeta was left alone, observing it, wondering if he should leave on his own and destroy the planet along with his comrades. He was pissed about having unloyal soldiers. He does not need any longer. When Nappa and Raditz returned, they both looked completely devastated. He knew he was quite old, so he gave them a psychotic smirk. So, are they dead already? He asked them rather sarcastically. Nappa drew back. Couldn't help but be angry at those cold-hearted words their young prince just uttered. Rushed to Vegeta, grabbed him by the golden shoulder pads of his armor, and shook him hard. What the hell is your problem, Vegeta-sama? How could you just stand there, knowing that two of your remaining people would be slaughtered? They went against me. That's the price they paid, Vegeta responded coldly. You're the one going against your orders, not us, Nappa roared. Vegeta's eyes narrowed to his intent gave him, and he titled his head to the left. Demeanor cold and devoid of any emotion, but his anger was seething in its icy, murderous glare. So you my bad. Apologies. So you feared Frieza more than me? He asked me. It's not about to whom we are loyal to. Of course we fear Frieza more than you. Yes, you are our prince, but he is the Galactic Emperor. What else were you expecting when he is more ruthless and more powerful than you are? Suddenly, Nappa found himself being sent rolling on the ground sideways after Vegeta had cautiously backhanded him hard across the face. You mindless fools! How dare you call yourselves members of the proud and mighty Saiyan race? Vegeta furiously sneered at him with gritted teeth. If those idiots listened to me instead, then they wouldn't have died. They chose that path and sealed their fates the moment they defied me. How is it my fault if I tried to save them in the first place? To be honest, the four of you are no match for the warriors of this planet. I know all of you are going to die in here. That's why I went against my orders to save your pathetic asses from being killed. And yet, this is how you would repay me, by telling me I am the traitor. Vegeta was so furious, he felt like he was the only Saiyan left in this world. One who still values his Saiyan pride and is full of warriors. He let out some breaths to calm himself down. Just unforgivable. Their defiance of him had made him regret coming to him. He gave Nappa a death glare. You are all hopeless. Why did I even waste my time coming in here? Fine, do what you want. Go ahead, obey Frieza. Meet your doom, and see if I care. Then he proceeded to fire ki blasts at spaceships the four Saiyans used to come to the planet, finding their pods in peace. Nappa and Raditz already knew what Vegeta was planning to do. Wait, Vegeta-sama, we're sorry! Nappa and Raditz tried to grab his hand to apologize, to beg for mercy, but Vegeta had already made up his mind. Don't touch me, dolly trash! Leave me alone! Vegeta roughly pulled his arm off Nappa's grasp, flew back to where his space pod landed to leave them to their fates. Feeling extremely disappointed and eyes filled with unshed and bitter tears, knowing that he would be the only remaining Saiyan left in this world. In space, Vegeta destroyed planet Osea, watched with cold eyes as the planet slowly succumbed to destruction. Nappa and Raditz tried to escape the burning planet, but the Serbians, who thought that the two Saiyans were the cause of such devastation to the planet, went after them. Nappa and Raditz were brutally killed right before Vegeta's eyes as they begged him for help and his mercy, for him to save them from their terrible fates. Vegeta simply watched on the facepalm. His eyes were cold and hard, his were falling from him. Someone who was raised to become the Saiyan's protector and savior, Vegeta caused them all to be killed and be destroyed instead. No savior, nor protector. Monster, killer, a destroyer. As the planet finally exploded with a blinding light, Vegeta finally snapped, threw his head back and started to laugh maniacally. Those who were hearing his back in the Frieza Force meeting sounded Vegeta's psychotic laughter as he watched the destruction of the Force made them feel terrified. He sounded even more frightening than how Frieza sounded when he destroyed planet Vegeta. When Vegeta returned to planet Frieza 79 and reported to the Emperor in person, Frieza congratulated him on the job well done, instead of scolding or punishing him. You did a great job, Vegeta-san. Let me applaud you. Congratulations. Vegeta didn't like how Frieza reacted to his defiance at all. He was greatly disappointed and angry. They're clearly treating him like a child, every single one of them. Midoriya and Zarbon stared down at the shaking Saiyan kneeling before Frieza. Vegeta was trembling not because of fear, but because of his pure hatred, of his seething rage, his growing anger. As they heard from the transmission from Chalice, Vegeta had purposely left his comrades to die on planet Sun. According to himself, planet Sim and planet Muhara were only meant to be purged of its population, but Vegeta chose to destroy them. Due to this, there will be no profit for the Frieza force, because there will be no planet for them to sell. The planet trade business lost a massive revenue due to effective savings. That's why they do not understand why their master was openly congratulating this rebellious brat, defied his orders instead of punishing him. It wasn't common behavior for Frieza to let this kind of insubordination slip. Anyone who defied him, even both Zarbon and Midoriya themselves, whom the Emperor favored greatly, would be killed mercilessly as their punishment. They were beginning to suspect that Frieza was playing favorites. Don't get why Frieza favored Vegeta out of all his soldiers, even over the likes of them or the more powerful members of the Kinyu Toko Sentai. What job for a brat indeed, Midoriya threatened his back. Beside him, another bit of foot soldier instantly nodded his head. The soldier was instantly turned into ashes before he could even react to the potent energy blast suddenly hit him. The unexpected attack made Midoriya jump with surprise. Midoriya turned towards Vegeta, who was poised for battle. Saiyan's arm was raised towards him, crimson eyes bloodshot as he bared his teeth and snarled venomously. "Why, bastards!" he growled, bracing himself for a fight, turning on all scouters around him. Fiercely powder. Everybody paled at the rising numbers they see. "You who dare to underestimate the pride of the Saiyan warrior race, come forth and fight me. I will rip you apart and make you all pay with blood." Everybody could feel his seething bloodlust, fiery rage. Through the violent aura he was emitting, the floors and walls began to shake as he breathed of his wrath. "What is this power? This isn't normal for a child," Zarbon gasped. Frieza, knowing that Vegeta is about to lose control, ordered him calmly. "Vegeta-san, calm down and control yourself." Vegeta couldn't hear what Frieza was ordering him. He was too mad, too angry to think about. He focused his furious glare at the Galactic Emperor and snarled at him. "I will never forgive anyone who would look down on me or my people. You think I have no idea about what you did, then you are wrong. I know that planet Vegeta was not destroyed because of a meteor. You did it, Frieza." While feigning ignorance of the blatant accusation, Vegeta was thrown at him. "What are you talking about? I did this." "Liar!" Vegeta roared. His blue aura suddenly started to change to a misty, dark purple flame as he said, "I'm going to destroy you all. I'm going to destroy you, all of you, just as what you did to my people." Vegeta decided to transform into his Ozaru form, to a power ball, an artificial moon made from its energy and the planet's oxygen, through the ceiling and into the dark skies, where black thunderclouds swirled in reaction to his rampage. He began his metamorphosis into a gigantic, monstrous demonic monkey. As he grew to titanic proportions, reduced Frieza's palace into rubble. This doesn't make Frieza pleased with more. So Frieza stepped in to fight this foolish, rampaging monkey. Clobbered the Saiyan beast real hard, beating Vegeta up until he was completely broken and bleeding everywhere. Vegeta enjoyed every bit of torture Frieza would inflict on him like a master. Now everybody was convinced he finally snapped, lost his mind, and went total psycho. Frieza eventually realized he fell right through Vegeta's trap as he plans on using his advantage. In his rage, Frieza decided to take away what he believes makes him a Saiyan, the unique characteristic all Saiyans have that separates them from other races and allows them to transform into this ugly, rampaging, giant monkey. Saiyan tail. You know, Vegeta, I do not like it whenever you become that. You become too ugly to look at. Fired a blast into Vegeta's power bolt, completely decimated the light and forced Vegeta to return to his normal form. Once Vegeta was in his human-like base form, Frieza pulled Vegeta's tail and started to run his fingers over the ground first. He realized what Frieza was about to do to his precious tail from his earlier copy, and something began to fear him. Please, no, don't do it, Frieza-sama. The choked his mind. He hated himself for the humiliation of begging his greatest enemy this way, for seeking and begging for mercy, and the words coming out of his lips. He must save his only remaining reminder of who and what he is, so he was forced to swallow his pride and plead. Please, no, no, he begged. Frieza didn't listen to his pleas. Slowly ripped the furry brown monkey tail off Vegeta's young body. Saiyan cried out loud in pure agony as he felt that part of him being torn off from the rest of his body. In agonizingly slow manner, Frieza was surely taking his sweet time, watching him scream and suffer. Prince clawed his fingers against the ground. His mouth widely opened as he cried out his pain. The blood-curdling sounds of torture could be heard for miles. The agonized screaming came increasingly louder, and he could hear his inner beast roar in his ears with him, until the tail was completely ripped off from his lower back. Once it was finally over, Frieza ordered Zarbon to throw and leave a broken, bleeding, utterly beaten, and dying Vegeta to die a slow death in a cold, isolated prison in a dark cave of a planet about to be destroyed by an upcoming asteroid. He refused to leave his tail behind and grabbed it in desperation, as if it was a very sentimental thing. When Zarbon hurled him across the prison, furry appendage dropped right in front of him as Vegeta collapsed on the cold, wet, stone ground. He heard Zarbon say something he wasn't able to understand due to the heavy ringing in his ears caused by his violent impact. But he was sure it was some sort of mockery or comment of disgust. For the Emperor's right-hand man left the poor Saiyan child to die there. All alone and in tears as he stared helplessly at his now dead, torn and bloody Saiyan tail the ruthless Emperor had cruelly ripped off of him. Darkness was at its peak. The moment Vegeta snarled in pure seething rage for air, his animalistic growl filled with all his hatred and bitterness as he painfully reached out to his torn tail with his left hand, until he was finally able to grab it and pull it closer to his heart. Dark eyes narrowed into rage-filled slits, unshed tears as he gritted his teeth and snarled furiously at Frieza's teeth and laughed in his face. His imagination conjured up before him. Curse you, Frieza! You're going to pay dearly for this. This is completely unforgivable. I swear that I will grow stronger and stronger. This entire universe shall tremble before me. By then, I will be strong enough to destroy you. I will destroy you. I will destroy you just as what you did to my people and my kingdom. I will destroy you just as you did to me. I swear, you'll get what's coming for you. I will come to you someday to destroy you to nothingness. I will become your destroyer, your worst nightmare. Get what you deserve. Then, Vegeta's eyes rolled to the back of his head as he finally lost his consciousness. The moment he regained his bearings and opened his eyes, Vegeta found a rather familiar figure squatting right in front of him. Those long, pointed ears, the sharp yellow eyes that stared right through his soul, the face of a purple-colored humanoid sphinx, that long tail waving lazily behind his legs, those ancient Egyptian garments. He recognized it all. God of destruction, fierce, Vegeta whispered his name in a weak voice before Annie. Sama! And He recalled his father's words, telling him about this after the day he blindly attacked him. He visited Planet Vegeta 4 years ago. Father said that Beerus, the god of destruction, is the most feared deity among the gods. He is responsible for the death and destruction of all creation, and is considered the most powerful being in the entire universe. Vegeta couldn't believe that he just met the god of destruction. He thought only exists in urban legends being passed around. It has been a while, Prince Vegeta, Beerus grinned at him. What are you doing here? Saint Prince asked him. You summoned me, Beerus responded. Vegeta let out a long, sharp breath. I don't think so. Yeah, I heard your thoughts just now. You wish to destroy Frieza. God of destruction threats. Vegeta was confused. Really summon him here? Try to recall the urban legend he's heard. They say that one can summon for the god of destruction when one prays for death or destruction at a specific time and with a specific requirement. You can only do this at the time of total darkness, commonly referred to as the devil's hour in some areas. With your blood as a sacrifice. Of course, you must have a mind filled with the desire to destroy someone or something from existence. Vegeta realized that Beerus was right and he relented. Oh, right. See. Beerus snorted. See. You did. Vegeta nodded slightly. Yes. God of destruction let out a smile. So, I am here to fulfill your wish, Prince Vegeta. Tell me what you want me to do. Vegeta, feeling heaviness in his chest, blood sputtered out of his mouth. Beerus sighed in annoyance, put his hand over him. His healed him completely. It didn't bring his tail back, though. So, tell me, what do you want? Beerus said again with an expectant look. Vegeta pulled himself up, looking over at his now fully healed body. Astonishment. Feeling a new wave of power coursed through. It's flowing stronger than ever before. This is exhilarating. Whoa, this is amazing, Beerus-sama. Thank you. Vegeta said more energetically than earlier. Gave the god of destruction a satisfied grin. No, tell me what you want me to do, Beerus said once more. This time he was growing a little impatient. Boy. Is there anything else you can do aside from being able to destroy planets completely, destroy people's existence? And this? You're a god, so that means you are immortal too. Your father tell you that? Vegeta nodded. Yes. I am also capable of hearing and fulfilling the wishes of mortals, desire death and destruction. You are one among those people who desired such thing. Yeah, I just realized that. So, stop changing the topic and tell me what you want me to do to Frieza for you. You're wasting my time, brat. Vegeta frowned, giving Beerus an angry gaze. Not want you to do anything to Frieza. I thought you said you can hear my thoughts. I said that I will destroy Frieza one day, which means that I will do it by my own hands. I will do it by myself. I will not allow you to steal that opportunity from me. Ugh. Vegeta glared at Beerus, giving him a pout as he rubbed his head. Beerus just smacked him. Don't you glare and use that tone on me, boy. Just shrugged uncomfortable as he relented and apologized with a pout. Okay, I'm sorry, sheesh. A moment of silence came between them as Beerus waited for Vegeta to change his mind. He was trying to figure out what the boy was actually thinking. How, despite what Vegeta had said, Beerus summoned here? You really do not want me to destroy Frieza for you? Beerus asked, trying to confirm it for the last time. Vegeta lowered his eyes and nodded. Yes, I'm sorry, but I will do it on my own. Even if it takes you several years to do so. Yes, Vegeta nodded. What if you fail at this and Frieza kills you? No, I will do it, Vegeta declared. Beerus' eyes narrowed, and Vegeta suddenly stumbled back. head snapping upwards, mind got filled with visions. He saw that Frieza would kill him with a deathly beam right to his heart after Frieza had enough of him, claiming that he had finally become the legendary Super Saiyan on some green planet. Vegeta saw himself crying his heart out in regret and frustration that after all the years he spent training for that day, all his efforts were useless. Vegeta squinted his eyes, the vision in his mind disappearing as he shook his head, blinking his eyes. The hell is that? Gasped. Your future. That is if you survive here, Beerus told him nonchalantly. My future? Vegeta gasped. Tried to make sense of the vision, which he refused to believe. That's not true. You're just trying to trick me into giving you what you want from me. No, I refuse to believe that this is my future. I'm the master of my own fate. If that will be the case, then I will find a way to change that. No matter what, I will destroy Frieza on my own. Beerus rolled his eyes up. You and your pride. Before he rose from his squatting position, he did some stretching. Whatever. Good luck with that. I'm going home. You just wasted my time here, you brat. Peter watched as Beerus walked out of the cold, dark prison. Saiyan Prince abruptly remembered that if he was left here by Beerus, he's still going to die because of the asteroid coming to destroy this planet. Without any space pod to get himself out of here, still doomed. What should he do to escape this planet and change his fate here? And in that future Beerus showed him. Wait! Vegeta suddenly called, pulling Beerus' hand to keep him from leaving. Beerus turned his head to Beerus. Vegeta gave Beerus an awkward smile. I was thinking of something, Phil. What is it? What if I wish to have the powers that would destroy Frieza and erase him from existence? Would you allow me that? Beerus' eyes widened slightly. His jaw dropped in surprise. This was the first time he heard a mortal wish for this kind of power for himself. He found Vegeta's wish to be strange and selfish, but it's quite interesting. He had a feeling that the Saiyan Prince simply didn't want to have this power because he just wanted to destroy Frieza. There should be something else. And Beerus thought it was something he was waiting for over 200 million years. Beerus turned around to face Vegeta, raising his right arm and pointing his palm towards the young Saiyan. Then I shall give it to you, but... No, please do not give it to me like that. I want you to teach me the powers of destruction. Right, this is the technique of a god of destruction. This is something that is not easily mastered by a purely mortal like yourself. I will learn. I don't care how many years it would take for me to master it. I'm sure I will master it no matter what. For the sake of my pride and my people, I will do it. Vegeta went down to his knees, lowered his head, and knelt before the god of destruction, while he inwardly hated himself for being in this position, begging someone in order to save his life. He couldn't eyes, forced himself to swallow his pride and humble himself. Please, allow me to be your protege, dearest someone. I promise I won't let you down. You are a self-centered child, you know that, Beerus grunted, giving Vegeta an annoyed flare. Is this really what you want? Yes. Then make a contract. Beerus said. Vegeta blinked his eyes. Contract? Didn't your father tell you that when someone makes a wish to me, there will be a contract? Don't think so. I guess he left that one out. Beerus snorted. Since your request is different from what mortals would commonly wish me for to do, I will make an exception for you. I will train you as you wish so you can destroy Frieza one day. But there will be a price for you to pay. What price? At the moment you have completed your training, you must take over my position as the god of destruction. And here I thought it was something hefty. But if you fail, or if you turn away from this contract, I will destroy you and your entire Saiyan race from existence. That means that you will all cease to exist in this world. You will be forgotten as if you have never existed in the universe. You will never go to heaven or hell or be reincarnated. Instead, your souls will forever wander in a place between heaven and hell, where there is complete nothingness, and you will never find peace. To agree to these conditions, Prince Vegeta. Peter hesitated at first. What does he mean by that? Whatever it was, sounds hefty and too risky. He was starting to have doubts and suspicions about his current abilities, and if it would be enough for him to pass. But then, he loved the challenge and the risk being offered to him, and wanted to relish in excitement over a new prospect of power. He will have a chance to attain through the God's instructions to rule and train. This is what he wanted, what a Saiyan like him prayed for. Plus, if he agreed to his contract, he would get himself out of this doomed world to survive. For now, he didn't need to think much over his. They mean nothing to him. Why would he even care about anyone else? He doesn't need those pathetic fools. What's important to him is gaining more power and survive no matter what, in order to become the strongest warrior in the entire universe. Peter eventually agreed to the contract. He was sure he made the best decision ever. Here, the Saiyan child declared, completely unaware of what he had truly got himself into. Peter smirked. You are rather confident, boy. Let me see what a super elite genius Saiyan warrior like yourself do. And with that, we shall take a brief reprisal. Yeah, reprieve. Okay, in the meantime, feel free to like, comment, whatever. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes, give or take. So yeah, alright, stand by, don't touch that dial. Anything, just grab more snacks, a drink, and whatever. Relieve yourselves. Alright. I haven't been. Oh no, oh no. I just realized my mic was still off. Jesus. Yep, chapter 3. Vegeta's training with Whis. Oh boy. Alright. I'll go a bit more. I just call it. I'll go again. Oh boy. Alright, chapter 3. Vegeta's training with Whis. After agreeing to the contract with Beerus, Vegeta was taken to the world of the God of Destruction, where he will live for the rest of his life. It was there he begins his training with the guide angel Whis to become the strongest possible. Whis may look like he couldn't hurt a fly, but he is powerful. But how long will Vegeta last in his training with the angel? The third part to Vegeta's backstory that tells his mortal life before he became the God of Destruction. Okay. Grand apologies for that. Beerus-sama, what are you doing in here? Frieza gasped when he found Beerus floating in the throne room when he returned after a lesson he would never forget. Whis, the guard angel of the God of Destruction, levitated next to him in silence. Beerus turned to face him, his yellow eyes bored to Frieza's soul as he said, I am going to take the boy with me. Frieza was shocked. Beerus know what he did to Vegeta. But Beerus-sama, Vegeta is... Beerus was suddenly upon his face, glaring down at him. Prince Vegeta is what? Causing Frieza to shrug. Nothing, Beerus-sama, told Frieza. Beerus grunted in a bored manner. I have come here to tell you that I am taking the boy with me, like it or not, Beerus said. You have served your purpose to me. I should be destroying you here and now, but I suppose I would give the boy the pleasure of doing that in the future. I would start training if I were you, because the next time you meet the Prince of all Saiyans, it will certainly make you pay for what you just did to him tonight and to me. Those words made Frieza's eyes widen. But you were the one who ordered me to destroy the Saiyans and make Vegeta as ruthless as he could be. Now you are going to use the Monkey Prince against me? Frieza shouted. Watch your tone with me, fool, or I will destroy you, Beerus warned. Frieza quieted for a moment, pursing his trembling lips to prevent himself from yelling at the god once more. You honestly think I cared about what happens to you? Tone of voice back to his earlier dull tone. As I've said, you are useless to me now. I've simply put the two of you to a test as to whom among you would fit the best for my interest and fend off my board. Frieza couldn't believe what he just heard. You what? You tested us? That's right. What for? Surely it's not just because you were bored. It is, and it was entertaining to see you both try to destroy each other. At first I had placed my bet on you, but then both of us know what the boys hold some potential. You wanted to destroy him because of this, because you feared that he would one day become the Super Saiyan in your nightmares. It was a ridiculous thing to be anxious about. You don't even do anything about it. Vegeta, on the other hand, wanted to destroy you because of what you did to him. Vex, you were the one who destroyed his people. Knew he isn't strong enough to do this yet, but he's determined to do anything on his own, to grow even stronger than he is now, just so he could make you pay, while you were being lazy sitting on that hover chair, giving orders to your men to do your dirty work. Vegeta wanted to find a way to improve himself, but you won't allow him because of your fear of him. That indomitable burning fighting spirit he has within him is what made Vegeta superior to you in all aspects. That is why I chose him over you. The door to Frieza's throne room suddenly opened, and Vegeta walked in, leaving footsteps of blood on the carpet. Frieza watched with wide eyes as Vegeta marched towards Beerus. He reached out to him, took his hand like a loving grandfather, poking at his grandson. Vegeta, ignoring Frieza, held Beerus' hand with his right hand. They both turned towards the astonished Emperor. Vegeta held the tail Frieza just ripped off of him on his left hand. His cold face and his armor painted with the blood of what could be soldiers who tried to get in his way. Frieza picked his armor and Midoriya's blood over his chest. Wait, Vegeta, just what are you doing in here? You weren't supposed to be in here, Frieza demanded the boy. Vegeta ignored Frieza as he looked up to Beerus with his crazed, bloodshot, crimson eyes. I did what you told me to do, Beerus-sama, said surprisingly back to him. Are you satisfied now? Beerus asked. For now, yes. As if Vegeta just noticed, grinned back at him with psychotic look in his eyes. Sorry, but Vegeta's already made a contract with me. This boy is mine now, Beerus said. Contract? What contract? Beerus let out a grin at Frieza tauntingly. Frieza's eyes, both Beerus and Vegeta, have the same spine-chilling air around them for some reason. It is none of your concern, but you will learn about it in due time. Beerus turned to his guide Angel and pressed his right palm over his back. He turned his head over his shoulder to look at Frieza, giving him a friendly smile. Now then, we shall take our leave now. Goodbye. Powerful blast of white light, Beerus, Vegeta, and Whis took off to space towards Beerus' home world, the planet of darkness, which would become Vegeta's home world as well for all eternity. Vegeta couldn't see anything but white all around him. He was surrounded by white light that left its trail for miles as he held Beerus' hand. Vegeta could feel that they're flying at an unbelievable speed, much faster than any spaceship he had ridden his entire 8 years of life. It was incredibly fast, he could not even fathom such speed, as if they were jumping to hyperspace or warping through space. Perhaps he was being transported to an entirely different dimension from his world. A world where gods like Beerus lived. The white light around them slowly vanished and they entered a big brown-colored cloud that serves as a thick smokescreen to hide what looked like a floating upside-down black pyramid. The shiny dark-colored pyramid was almost 500 feet high. At the top was a forest of dead trees, several landscapes such as cliffs and hills, a dry grass field, and a vast sea that doesn't seem like there were live fishes or any live on it. Around a tall, ancient-looking tower of 13 stories high. Up above the tower, the sky was filled with swirling black clouds. It was a dark and cold. The place lacked any color but black or gray. The only light source of this place is the occasional lightning the thunderclouds above would give off. Once the lightning flashes, giant shadows of the surrounding planets and moons loom across the horizon. As soon as they landed on this place, Vegeta suddenly felt a heaviness that immediately pulled his young body down into the ground, filled with pale grey sand. The gravity in this world is intense. Oh my, are you alright, Prince Vegeta? Whis gasped and found Vegeta glued to the ground. Vegeta tried to speak, but he couldn't even open his mouth. Oh, I forgot to mention that the gravity around here is 100 times greater than the gravity of your home world. Here, let me give you some help, Whis said, pointing his staff towards him, but Vegeta immediately denied. No, he groaned. Vegeta tried to pick himself up, trying to raise his power level to increase his strength, and hopefully help him defy his pull of gravity. After what seemed like an eternity of struggling, Vegeta was able to do at least lift himself in his shaking arms, only for that strength to give up on him and pull him back face first on the ground. Oh, damn it! He grumbled incoherently, panting so hard. Beerus rolled his eyes off the stubborn child and told Whis to just do what he was trying to do. The angel pointed his scepter towards Vegeta, engulfing him with a momentary green light that lifted that heavy pull off Vegeta's body. Feels better now? Beerus asked as Vegeta was finally able to stand up much easier than earlier, wondering what Whis did to him. Whis frowned to himself, feeling a little humiliated that he needed help with just standing. Vegeta frowned to himself, feeling a little humiliated that he needed help with just standing. Looking over at both Beerus and Whis, who moved with no effort at this amount of gravity pull. Vegeta already knew that he had a long way to go before he could achieve the power he wanted. Beerus sighed. Both he and Whis knew just how proud the Saiyan was, and that he could already imagine just how he feels right now. Please don't rush yourself, Prince Vegeta. We will take your training little by little. There will be a time when you can move around this place without that help. I understand, Beerus said. For the meantime, until you reach a level I find acceptable. Beerus said, for the meantime, until you reach a level I find acceptable, you'll be training under Whis over here. He may be softer than I am when it comes to training, but don't get too relaxed because there will be times that I will put you to a test to check on your progress. You'll never know when that will happen, so you better work hard. Always keep in mind the price that you will pay if you fail right here. Vegeta nodded. Yes, Beerus-sama, I understand. Thank you very much. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a nap to take. Whis, take good care of him. Beerus was gone and he went straight to the tower, leaving Vegeta and Whis to deal with each other. You are an interesting child, Prince Vegeta, for you to come here wanting to be trained by Beerus-sama himself. In fact, this is the first time I have met a mortal who would willingly choose to come anywhere near him. Please train me as hard as you could. I will do my best. Oh, I will hold you to that. I'm expecting great things coming from you. After all, from what I could sense from you, you do possess a rather fascinating power within. However, what made me interested in you is your burning desire to attain more. I am curious, though. Why do you seek this kind of power? Is it really because you wanted to destroy Frieza, just as you mentioned when you made a contract with Beerus-sama? Vegeta lowered his eyes and stayed silent, not wanting to answer that question. So, I guess I did hit a nerve. There's another reason why you agreed to this, stated. It's none of your concern. Let's just begin my training. Prince Vegeta, I'm afraid I cannot start with your training unless you open up to me what's troubling your young heart. Then, doesn't matter, all I need is my desire to grow stronger and stronger. That's what I live for, as the Saiyan I am. Whis let out a sigh as he gazed down at the Saiyan Prince for no one looked. This boy truly is prideful, stubborn, and quite ambitious, just like his father, but he won't admit it to himself. He knew that there is something more to this child than what he's trying to show. Whis murmured for a moment as he watched Vegeta. What is it? Perhaps it is something to do with how this is just their first time talking like this. They never had a chance to interact with Beerus visiting the planet Vegeta 4 years ago. Maybe if he gives the boy the time to loosen up and be comfortable, Vegeta might open up to him. Alright, I understand this is rather uncomfortable for you. I am hoping to hear from you one day when you decide to open up your heart. A word of advice, whatever it is, please do not let it affect your training. Your desire for this kind of power is already intriguing enough, but if it's greater power you seek, then I can help you out. I will give you a variety of tasks and challenges, and I expect you to complete them on a given time. If you manage to do so, I will give you a fine reward for accomplishing each one. Let's take it one step at a time. I'm asking you to be more patient. Think. Truly want to grow. Alright. Before we begin training, I should give you new garments and feed you as well. I bet you are famished. Peter's cheeks flushed red when a loud growl seemed to respond to Whis' mouth. Whis chuckled. I guess that settles it then. Now then, come with me. Whis led Vegeta towards the dining table, the center of a spacious room with a massive aquarium filled with different kinds of seafood Vegeta had never seen before. You may admire the view while you wait here. Let me prepare something for you. If you have any specific dishes you want to eat. I happen to be quite a good cook, and I know quite a lot of recipes. Anything would do, thank you, Vegeta responded. Oh? Vegeta noticed that Vegeta was being tense. Whis noticed that Vegeta was being tense. It was probably his same instinct to feel like this whenever he's in a new environment. Treats all places as a battlefield, thinking that someone might attack him any time. Relax, Prince Vegeta, you don't have to be so tense. Nobody's going to attack you. I'll make sure of that, Whis assured him. Since you are contracted to Kurosama, specifically ordered me to take good care of you, I will protect you from any threat that may come your way. I came here to be trained, not to be pampered, cuddled, or be protected, Vegeta told him. These are Beerus-sama's orders, Your Highness, but of course, that is just outside of training. I will make sure that I will train you just as you expect. So, as I said earlier, we will take it step by step, according to your level of power and skill. Of course, it wouldn't be easy because I know that you crave challenges. That's good to hear then, Vegeta said. Also, just call me Vegeta. I never like it when people address me in such a way. Okay, Vegeta-san, I will do that. Better then. Now, please wait here while I prepare your food. Whis went to the kitchen, wondering which dishes time to leave the prince. He took his scepter out to see Vegeta's life to know what food is his favorite. Then Whis suddenly realized that preparing this kind of cuisine might make Vegeta feel even more upset. If he reminded him of memories he had with Planet Vegeta or his father, Vegeta might get bitter and angry. Whis sighed and he searched the fridge for ingredients available, and he sighed to find it quite empty. The only remaining ingredient there was a slab of a fish's belly from a planet in the solar system. Maguru, was it? Whis took the bluefin tuna belly out and put it over a chopping board. He peeked inside a rice cooker to find some leftovers, and an idea for a recipe came to his mind. While Whis was busy stirring some rice together to form an oval shape, a long goblet made from glass floated towards him. Inside was a blue-colored fish, a lengthy body resembling a pig, submerged in blue green. The fish stuck its head out the glass and said, "Welcome back, Whis," in a cheerful female voice. "Thank you for coming all the way here, Yo Genko," he said, not turning his head at the new arrival. Fish called Yo Genko picked at what Whis was making. "What are you making today?" "It's a recipe from Earth called Maguru Nigiri, a type of sushi." "Ah, I see," Yo Genko said, a little awkward to see a fish like itself being prepared as food. "So, have you seen our guest?" "I haven't yet, but I already felt his energy when you landed here." After a few moments of silence, Whis carefully created sushi down a plate and asked in a low, careful tone, "The one?" "I can't say," Yo Genko drawled. "You know how prophecies could change, Whis. I once saw that Beerus would indeed take the Saiyan Prince as his protege, but it is too early for him to do so." Yo Genko has the ability to dream of prophecies. 8 years ago, she predicted that Beerus' time as God of destruction would end soon, and a new one will rise to him. "So it is Prince Vegeta the Fourth indeed, huh?" he said, considering that you were able to see those visions at the exact time he was born on planet Vegeta. "Yes," Yo Genko responded. "I'm guessing that the food you are preparing is for him, correct?" "Yeah." "He will surely love it." "Don't tell me that you have seen this coming as well." Yo Genko chuckled. "You got me." When Whis returned to the dining area, found Vegeta quietly sitting down on a chair, right in front of the table. The expression on his face was kind of melancholic as he stared blankly at the empty table. Whis placed the beautifully plated Maguro Nigiri in front of him, causing Vegeta to raise his eyes to him curiously. Whis smiled at him. This is what is called a Maguro Nigiri, one of Beerus' summer's favorite food from planet Vegeta. Please, Vegeta, guide Angel gestured towards the plate. Thank you. Right then. Lugango chuckled. You got me. When Whis returned to the dining area, he found Vegeta quietly sitting down in a chair right in front of the table. The expression on his face was kind of melancholic as he stared blankly at the empty table. Whis placed the beautifully plated Maguro Nigiri in front of him, causing Vegeta to raise his eyes to him curiously. Whis smiled at him. This is what is called a Maguro Nigiri. It is one of Beerus' summer's favorite food from planet Earth. Please, Vegeta-san, the guide angel gestured towards the plate. Thank you. Vegeta turned his eyes to the floating glass goblet next to Whis. The Gangpyo raised one of her fins to wave at him. Hello, she cheerfully greeted at him. Vegeta's eyes widened in surprise to see a talking fish for the first time in his life. What is that? Asked. Ah, this is your Genkyo, Beerus Summer's pet fish. She's a special one because she has the ability to dream of prophecies. Huh? Is that true? Yes, to be honest, she had correctly predicted that she will come here as Beerus' protege. Really? Really? Your Genkyo floated right up to Vegeta, gazing at him intently for a moment. Ah. I need to know how to make it and oh yeah. Look, they may not be aware. What? Peter. The Genkyo tilted her head curiously. You look like you want to know something about your future. Sorry, but I cannot allow you to know what your future holds. Prophecies could change drastically depending on the choices the subject makes. For example, in your case, according to my prediction, your coming in here is too early than what we were expecting. You were supposed to become Beerus' protege at a later time, but you made a drastic and unexpected choice that changed the course of your fate, which is why I would highly advise that you remain blind to what could happen to your future and just focus on the present. That way, you could prevent expectations and disappointments during your training here. Though disappointed he didn't get to ask an important question, Vegeta reluctantly nodded. I understand. Now then, it is nice finally meeting you in person, Vegeta-kun. Good luck with your training. Unexpectedly for a belligerent Saiyan known for the savagery, Vegeta does have manners, which only befitted a royalty like himself. While he does have a huge appetite like most of his kind, he had the refinement of a royal prince with how he ate his food. It was quite surprising that someone with such a calm demeanor could become wild, ruthless, hot-headed, and bloodthirsty fighter on the battlefield. Once Vegeta finished his food, he turned to Whis with expectant eyes. Thank you for the food. I'm ready for training now, he announced. He blinked back and he was surprised. Boy wants to train already just right after he finished his meal. Oh, you're already raring to go as soon as you're done? Very well. Let me give you your training garment so we can finally begin. Whis waved his scepter towards him. Vegeta was engulfed with angelic green light. Suddenly, his clothes magically changed into a beautifully designed navy blue long-sleeved jumpsuit, a Chinese collar, a white and gold basic armor that covers the torso. A royal blue sash was around his thin waist. A long black colored drape similar to that on Will and Beerus's waist were hanging down in front of him. The sash was anchored. The drape had golden colored rims and white and red diamond-shaped designs lining up the center. On his hands was a pair of white gloves, and on his feet were golden-toed white gloves. Vegeta looked down at himself and thought, "This superb. The materials are excellent and were better than anything he ever had, even in comparison to his royal battle and training suits back on the planet." That is badass, first and foremost. "So, what do you think?" Whis asked. "These are excellent." Vegeta gave Whis an impressed smirk. Whis smiled gratefully. "I'm glad you like it. Now let us proceed outside to begin your training." Whis led Vegeta to a wide open field, a barren wasteland on the other side of the God of Destruction's home world. A scorching hot breeze blew around them softly, effectively making Vegeta sweat already. He didn't care about that. He gazed up at the tall guide angel, his teacher, and listened to his instructions. "Before we begin your training exercise, let's have a warm-up battle first. This is to test your current abilities, so I can adjust the exercises I will give you today according to your abilities. Please do not hesitate on using your full power, and give it everything you've got. I happen to be incredibly strong." I think that is quite obvious considering that you can already move freely on this planet without any help like I do, Vegeta told Whis. "Oh, nice observation," Whis praised. "Now, I'm ready when you are." Vegeta nodded, bracing himself. He unleashed his powers with a loud, lengthy shout. His blue aura burst to life around him, creating a maelstrom of dust and energy, and strong flows of wind and shockwaves as well. The ground shook tremendously, and fierce lightning struck above the whirling dark thunder clouds above them as Vegeta continued to raise his power level to the maximum. Whis was impressed at how such a small child could contain such an unnaturally enormous amount of power within himself. Once he was at his full power, the Saiyan Prince quickly charged at Whis with a flash of human speed. All thanks to Whis made earlier, the speed and effectiveness of his attacks weren't affected by the gravity of this world. Whis effortlessly and gracefully blocked all of Vegeta's violent, feral, yet graceful attacks like they were nothing to him. Even if Vegeta used his Dansoken Jutsu, also known as the After Image Art, his tremendous lightning-fast speed, Whis was able to see through his technique. After quite some time, Whis caught Vegeta's wrist and said, "Okay, stop. That's enough now." Vegeta pulled away from Whis by leaping backwards, doing a single yet graceful somersault in mid-air, before landing lightly on his feet to the ground and waiting. "So, how is it?" he asked, panting. "Your skills and power are quite impressive for a mortal at your young age. You being hailed as a fighting genius and a super elite among the Saiyans is no surprise," Whis commented. "However, as you may already know by now, there are areas where you need great improvements, like how you appear to be too wound up with your thoughts before you unleash an attack. It puts quite an effect on your speed, but I guess it's still too early for us to do that kind of training at this time. First, you have to train your body to be able to move freely in different gravitational pools. Once you master this, you'll be able to move around in any given place without any problem. You won't even feel a thing at all. Aside from that, if you manage to do this, it will greatly augment your strength and your speed by several folds." "Okay," Vegeta agreed. "Now, I shall release a little of that support off you. Try to practice with it, okay?" "Understood." Whis waved his scepter towards Vegeta again, and he suddenly felt heaviness in his body. Vegeta struggled to maintain his composure at first. Every single part of his body felt like it would crush under such pressure. He gritted his teeth hard, pulling himself together to prevent from being squashed around like he did when he first arrived to his world. During his throw, pulsing veins appeared throbbing in his forehead and across his body. His eyes were dilated and bloodshot. After that seemingly endless, painful struggle, he managed to stand on his 2 feet, and he shakily started to take hefty steps forward to walk around. Every step he took almost felt like the ones he made while in his exile form, but greater. Whis observed Vegeta for a moment and got an interesting idea to help Vegeta practice. How about I give you something to chase? Think of it as just playing a sports game. There. Tapped his scepter and a walnut-sized golden spear with tiny but long white-colored feathered wings attached on its side appeared and started flying around Vegeta with tremendous speed. Fantastic reference. Try catching this thing, he told him. Vegeta stared at the little spear with wide eyes and jaw dropped. That thing's speed was incredible. He started to doubt himself about being able to catch such a good flying spear, but immediately shook that negative thought away. Instead, tried to focus on his resolve to improve himself. He nodded at the beast, then started chasing things around. It was a great struggle for him at first. Vegeta ended up exhausted upon failing to complete such a task during the day. Several hours passed, and Whis halted the train to give Vegeta the time to rest. However, the Saiyan Prince refused. Even if Whis effortlessly caught the flying golden spear in his 2 long fingers, thus stopping Vegeta's training for the day, the Saiyan Prince stubbornly continued on his own. Whis sighed and pulled the gravity weight off Vegeta with his scepter just to stop him. Vegeta glared at Whis when he felt lighter than before. Hey, why'd you do that for, you bastard? He complained. Whis frowned at him, displeased by the way the boy addressed him. He glared at Vegeta, causing the boy to feel a little discomfort about that look. He could feel that despite Whis' kind and gentle nature, he's definitely someone whom you should respect. I suggest that you stop addressing me that way, Vegeta-san. Didn't I tell you to call me by Whis? He scolded. Vegeta swallowed nervously and said reluctantly, Fine, Whis-sama. Formality was reluctancy. He had to address this person, someone higher than him, which I had a hard time accepting. Good. Now to answer your question, I did it because you refused to listen to me. When I say it is time to rest, go and rest. I know you are tough and all, but you cannot keep on training this way all the time, or else your body would suffer its horrendous effects. It is unwise to abuse your body. You should know that. But Peter tried to say, but realized that his concerns were correct. Shrugged his shoulders and looked away in shame. Just want to finish the task quickly so I can proceed to another training exercise, mumbled the help. Whis' glare finally melted. To see that the Saiyan was stressing himself too much. He let out a sigh as he gave the boy advice. Patience, young one, he just insulted him. You don't have to push yourself too much. You have an eternity to get stronger. In due time, you will be able to do this without much effort. Believe me. Peter nodded slightly. Now go and wait at the dining room. I will cook you some dinner before you go to bed. While Whis was busy cooking dinner, Peter quietly sat on his seat on the dining table. He was tired for the day. He could feel the pain and the heavy fatigue on his muscles, and his body demands him to sleep on it. He shook his head to prevent himself from falling asleep. He decided to secretly train in his mind via image training. He leaned his back on the backrest chair, let out a breath, closed his eyes as he focused on his mind. In it, he was chasing the flying golden spear. When Whis returned to him, he found Vegeta already asleep. He smiled to himself and decided to bring the boy to his bed. He was lost in what Vegeta thought was his image training, but was just a dream. It took Vegeta 20 days to be able to catch the Golden Wing spear on that level, and another 6 months to be able to freely move on the God of Destruction's planet without any of Whis' magical assistance. Whis was incredibly impressed that Vegeta was able to do so in such a short amount of time. Even though Whis had a hard time stopping Vegeta due to his stubborn pride at times, the Prince seemed to have enjoyed the exercise and the results. With this, Vegeta was able to grow exponentially more powerful than before. Whis was beginning to see what young Gengyo found on the thing. Pick my mic. During his stay, Vegeta would gladly help him with chores. One day, Whis was surprised to have come back from his errands of doing groceries to find that Vegeta had cleaned the entire building, cut the grass outside, wiped your Genkyo's 1,000 fish bowls, and even managed to change the sheets to Beerus' bed all by himself without waking the God of Destruction at all. After being able to move around on his own and seeing the results previous training managed to give him, Vegeta was more enthusiastic to continue the next exercise. He would also begin to exhibit some changes in behavior, being able to listen to his advice more often, and being more patient while training. While Whis was pleased about this, he couldn't help but notice that something wrong was going on. Vegeta would train morning until twilight. Some exercises required him to put on some ridiculous deadly weights while going around the planet and preventing himself from falling into the oblivion that seemed to chase him around. Sometimes he would try to catch the flying golden spear with those weights on him, and at times he would be teleported back to Beerus' room to just take on Beerus' sleeping androids, where he subconsciously lets loose ridiculous amounts of godly destructive energy. Vegeta would end up crawling out of the God of Destruction's bedroom fighting for his life, while others would have already given up on this kind of situation every day. Vegeta enjoyed it. He knew he would get stronger every time he survived these daily near-death situations falling out from, while your Genkyo worried about the kid's life. Whis mentioned that they were only trying to utilize the Saiyan's unique ability to become exponentially more powerful every time they come out against Thor. Why does sudden change of mind? Your Gengo asked Whis as she watched the guide angel carefully. He was fast asleep on his bed. Vegeta started training you. You were the one who told him to never abuse his body. Now you were giving him this harsh training. You're a kid, and if this keeps up, he might die so young and won't be able to fulfill the prophecy. Saw something within him after he was able to finish the gravity field. Remember that Vegeta is safe. He grows stronger whenever he survives a harsh battle. With that in mind, I understand why he was being stubborn about pushing himself during training. However, I can only allow him to do it for a certain amount of time. When it is time for him to rest, he must rest well. This would allow him to grow better and faster. Well, I can see that. It's almost been a year since he arrived here and he's improved quite a lot. I feel that he will awaken to that legendary Super Saiyan thing much sooner than we expected. Really? Yes, so. More weeks passed, and Vegeta continued his training by doing the task he was told him to do. One day, Vegeta woke up to a surprising amount of breakfast. He wondered what the observed feast was for. He simply said that he must eat as much as he could for training. After eating and helping out with some chores, Vegeta proceeded to the meadow where Whis told him to go. Whis was patiently waiting for him there. Whis told him that today's activity will be a lot different from the task. For the first time Vegeta arrived on this planet, Whis was going to spar with him. Just as before, feel free to use your full power, Whis told him. Vegeta agreed and began to power up to the action. Vegeta charged at Whis with all he had, which the angel effortlessly dodged or blocked gracefully. Vegeta was beginning to be impatient as he realized that none of his attacks worked, despite an entire year of training in this damn place. What the hell is he? I knew I've already gotten stronger than when I first arrived here, but I still don't know what it takes to land a single hit on him. Vegeta thought furiously as he leaped back a few moves away from him. Whis tilted his head curiously, wondering why the child had stopped his furious assault all of a sudden. Is there any problem for you? Vegeta was panting heavily as he glared at Whis. Right? I'm not supposed to be struggling this way. Whis observed him critically. The boy was shaking, not because he was tired or due to some kind of pain. It was from his anger. Here I thought I was getting closer to becoming a Super Saiyan. Damn it! Vegeta gritted his teeth and braced himself to attack Whis once more. Whis could tell that the young warrior was frustrated about something. He held up his hand and said, "Alright, Vegeta-san, enough for now," before Vegeta could leap forward and attack him. Saiyan Prince blinked his eyes, silently wondering why Whis stopped him. He straightened himself to listen to him. Vegeta-san, you know very well that this is training. There's no need for you to be frustrated if you fail. You can always try until you... Vegeta scowled back as he lowered his head and looked away in shame. I don't know if I'm getting stronger or if I'm just wasting my time. It was gritted teeth. Time it was Whis who blinked his eyes due to his... What do you mean? You are getting strong. Vegeta's eyes and jaw twitched. He turned to look at Whis, asking him with a tone that didn't conceal how much he felt insulted. Are you trying to console me or what? I'm only speaking of this. Don't you remember how when you first came here, you could not move around this planet? And now look, you can move freely and gracefully. Perhaps you still couldn't see what I mean, but maybe once you fight another world, you'll be able to see the improvement I am talking about. Whis leaned forward and told him, "So, why don't we have a deal? If you manage to land a single hit on me today, I will grant you whatever you want." Vegeta raised his head, his earlier frustrated scowl quickly changing into excitement. Are you serious? Whis nodded with a smile. Of course, that is if you can do it. Great! Vegeta grunted his disappointed, his mouth faded, his eyes rolling. What's the matter? Don't tell me that you are backing out on a challenge. Of course not! Vegeta shouted back, bracing himself to attack Whis. Whis chuckled to himself. I'm ready whenever you are. Vegeta sighed and he fell into his fighting stance. With a battle cry, he leaped forward and charged, fueled by his determination. His attacks were noticeably much better than earlier. No Whis could effortlessly and gracefully dodge or block them with his hand. Your movements are better now. You appear to be more focused than earlier. Keep it up, Whis commented. How interesting. Let's see if you can maintain this until the end. Pay close attention to your opponent's behavior and line of sight after an attack. You must be able to tell and predict your opponent's next move. Super speed. Whis reached out one of his hands to playfully poke at Vegeta's throat, but Vegeta's form flickered until it completely vanished, much to Whis' surprise. Vegeta appeared right behind Whis, and the angel raised his right hand to block Vegeta's punch from behind, but all he was able to grasp was air. Another after image, gasped as he turned his head over his right shoulder. He felt a light tap over his left cheek, and his eyes fell on Vegeta's fist connected to his face. The boy had a smirk as he happily exclaimed, "Stop you! Whis swiftly levitated a few feet backward, distanced himself from Vegeta, before smiling at him. Wow, that is an incredible tactic, Vegeta-san. I honestly didn't expect you to master the Sensoken technique that easily while moving like gravity. So, as promised, you would grant me what I want, right? Vegeta reminded him. No, of course. I thought that something was odd about how you were acting lately and wonder what it is that you want. Speak up, and I will listen. I want to fight Frieza. And with that, we shall call it a day. So yeah, by all means, like and please you, subscribe if you get a desire for more. Link, the thelonelynixie channel is in that, I believe. Oh, no, link to the story, yeah. Alright then, yes, today, a bit all to do. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that reading very much, sis. I will talk to you later. Okay, enjoy your morning, day, evening, night, whatever it may be. A presto! I'm Princeton.